Okay, folks, we're going to show you my example. At the very least, I'm putting up the pickleball nets. I've done so many of them, I think I have a pretty good idea of how it should be done. First of all, I lay out the net first, and there's actually a reason for it, which I'll mention in a second or two. So I take the net, as I say, just kind of lay it out approximately where it's going to go, except not right exactly where I'm going to put the metal pole. There it's laid out. Okay, then I come back to the poles themselves. It's really easier if one person does the pole by themselves rather than having two people try to do it. It's just simply a little bit more organized. Now this is the centerpiece. This just little notch slides in there, and there's a hole here, and that's where that centerpiece goes. So the first thing I do is determine where my center pole is going to be, on which side of the net, and it's going to be on this side. So I turn the little hole to this way. Then it's where it's supposed to be, because when you put that stick in, it keeps the net against the poles themselves. Okay, then I take them out. I take them all out at once because it's just simply a little quicker, and that's the way I like working. Okay, then I start from one end with the poles, and I don't move.
So you put the curved piece in first?
Oh yes, the curved piece goes in first, of course. There's one curved piece at either end, and these poles are marked 1 to 7, 1 to 6, whatever it is, but it is not necessary. It simply doesn't matter which way the poles go in. So okay, I just start from here, and I'm just simply pushing these poles along, basically down the line where the net is going to go. Now I've got 3 pieces in there, so now I will put the center piece in, because then it will end up approximately in the middle. I just continue after that. I push it along, raising that up a little bit so that it doesn't move too much. Keep going. Now you will notice that I've been pushing it along the line, because these little red marks over here indicate where it's sort of centered. And if you notice, I have got it now all the way basically where I want it. I'm on almost, well, 95% online, so I'm not going to have to do very much adjusting. When I put these down, I know based on the way the courts are laid out that if I put it approximately a foot from the red line, the net is going to be centered. Okay, so then this goes up first. So start at one end. I always leave the center piece to the last. It's sort of free floating, if you like, so it's much better to do it this way. Now these things are at a slight angle like this, so when you put the net in, you have to make sure that you're putting it in at that angle again. Now, I have marked all of these nets so that they're at the correct 6 feet. So there's my little mark right there, so I make sure that this net, including the Velcro, is at that mark. Not too high, because it's 3 feet here, it's 34 inches in the middle, and it's already pre-laid this way. Then I bring this one up to my height. Again, the Velcro, exactly the same thing. Now before I attach the Velcro, just one little note. When you take the nets down, attach the Velcro if you can, because otherwise it's floating all over the place and it gets caught in the net all the time when you're trying to set it up again. So try and attach the Velcro before or after you take the nets down. So then we just tighten this up again. Now, one thing you're going to note too, sometimes it looks as though the center is higher than the middle here. That means the Velcro isn't tight enough. So you just have to tighten the Velcro up. And then this feet now should be set already here at 34 inches. So then you move the center piece over, slip it in the little hole, make sure it's sort of adjusted, and there you go there. Now you go back here, of course, make sure you're on the red dots on either end, and make sure this is straight, which it is. Your net is basically set up. By the way, there is Velcro here to attach these poles to the net. I don't use them. I think it's much nicer if this is just permanently set up at this height, and then the Velcro becomes superfluous. You just simply don't need it. Anyways, there you go, folks. Good luck.